Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another chatty and crafty video where I'm going to attempt to grow my rainbow crane army and also sort of talk over a few things like hybrid publishing, what it is, why I want to do it, why I think maybe more people should do it, and particularly why my brain is spiraling thinking about this now. Also a little bit about author dreams versus author goals. I will try not to sing "A dream is a wish your heart makes" more than right now. Gotta get my Disney reference in. And then also a little bit about the future of Project Purple and about writing characters that don't look like me. I've gotten to the point where I don't need instructions on how to make the paper cranes. I did once attempt a dragon, but it did not turn out so hot. I mean, it was okay. We're gonna stick to cranes for now. Let's define hybrid publishing for those who aren't familiar with the term. It's pretty easy. Well, there we go. A hybrid author, or like a hybrid published author, is someone who is both indie published or self-published, depending on which term you prefer, and traditionally published. There are a bunch of pros to indie publishing. There are plenty of cons to indie publishing, and the same can be said for traditional publishing. And I think that's really where being a hybrid author comes into play. I think they can be utilized in different ways, and I think they should be utilized by more people. I also think that's going to be the trend going forward. Yeah. Not my best line. They're not very even. Oops. It's fine. The thought spiral about all of this began because I realized how Authortube is not really reflective of like any of the other writing groups I'm part of. Self-publishing in other groups is still in the minority. You know, all the in-person nano events I've been to, and when I'm catching up with like my old college writing buddies. Yeah, can I help you? Now, it's not nearly the minority that it once was, like even 5 years ago or even back when I was in college. But self-publishing as an option is so represented on Authortube. Like, I can count on both of my hands the number of Authortubers I know who are pursuing traditional publication or who have already been traditionally published. Do you want to go outside, bud? It's still pretty hot. I don't know that you're gonna like this. Good, babe. Okay, so as this sort of thought exercise is continuing to spiral in my brain, I was like, why is that anyways? Why is self-publishing so represented on Authortube? And then the answer, of course, is pretty obvious actually. YouTube is literally this place where you do it all yourself, or until you're like a super huge creator or willing to pay for it kind of thing, which arguably already fits in the indie world anyways. You're filming yourself, you're editing yourself, you're doing the thumbnails yourself, you're also marketing yourself, so on and so forth. Little head. Pull these down. Yay! We got a cute little like green guy, little lime crane. I was about to try and name him as if I've ever been any good at naming. He can sit on top of my camera. No, he can't. Okay. Fly, little crane, fly. Oh, Duke, do you want to come back in now? Did you realize it was too hot for you? You adorable, silly little pepperoni. There's also no barriers to entry on YouTube. No one's saying if you can or can't make a video, can or can't be part of Authortube specifically. You theoretically just put your video up and consumers can find it. Admittedly, there is this whole other aside about like the algorithm and how consumers are recommended videos. That's another topic for another day, honestly. And I know this has been talked about a lot on Authortube because there's a lot of like why I'm self-publishing or why I'm traditionally publishing, why I'm not self-publishing, you know, all sorts of stuff. The reasons people often give are things like money and time and skill set and ego. And I think, you know, every single one of those topics, you could make an argument for either side. They both fall into those pros and cons, right? And now all of this was spiraling in my brain, perfectly timed with Lindsay Puckett's not a tag, but turned into a tag. Oh no! You weren't even a crane yet and you tried to fly. Oh, I hate when I do that. I messed up. Got confident, got cocky. Do you see that I messed this up? Start again. Lindsay's video on her wildest publishing dreams. She even mentions at the beginning the difference between dreams and goals, which I appreciated. And I do want to wrap that back into hybrid publishing again because dreams often feel like these very lofty things that we have no control over, right? Or like it would be step 10,000 and we set our goals to then make the dreams happen, but like our goals are set incrementally at like 50 steps, you know, but like the 10,000th step is still that far away. So dream versus goal, making sure I don't make the same mistake again. So what you have to do is you have to fold it where the lip is. Sometimes I'll mess up the fold here and fold the wrong way. You don't want that. Don't do the thing I did. There we go. What I was finding when I was watching all of these videos that were spawned off of Lindsay's is that a lot of my trad pub stuff is in the dream category completely, and then a lot of the indie or self-publishing stuff falls into this goal category. So even something in Lindsay's video, which I am going to steal, is being in a book subscription box. You can actually do that if you're an indie author, if you're self-published. There's a lot that I am sure goes into that, but like with all things indie and self-publishing, like you have the you're the only one who has the power to make that happen. I think Bethany even did that. That's a really big head. I don't want it that big. Oh, he needs to be able to fly, doesn't he? Fly, fly, little crane. Yay! Yay, I did it! Okay. Get some other colors out. When I was in Toronto on the Wander Writers Retreat, I actually asked people there what their like writing and platform like dreams were. And so I want to go back over that video, see what I said, and then make a new list, a master list of my dreams, and then kind of separate them out into potentially goals versus dreams, since I've been working on my passion planner and stuff like that anyways. So, ooh, this is a pretty color. Oh, this is like my favorite color, green. Okay, let's pull up that video. I really make too many videos. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Writing bucket lists.
Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am talking bucket lists. Now, I make bucket lists for just about every kind of category in my life, but I want to talk about what is on my writing bucket list, and also my author platform kind of bucket list. And it's not just me who's going to be talking about it, because I also asked all my other writer and author friends that I have met during my time here in Toronto. Oh my gosh, Snake's being so cute. Look at that.
Oh, Snake.
What's on your bucket list, Snake, huh? Oh my gosh, okay.
My heart! I'm going to skip over every wonderful person's goals and dreams and go to my goals and dreams, because that's the kind of person I am. Okay.
The top of my bucket list is actually for someone to write fan fiction about one of my stories or one of my series.
Hello, little mouse. Yeah!
To be able to partner with Disney and have them like send me to one of the parks and like do an ad or do some kind of sponsorship with them, or just to have them send me to a park. My Disney obsession knows no bounds, and I cannot think of anything better. I have no idea why this would happen. There's really not a good reason, but this is what I want. This is shooting for the stars, top of the bucket list, Disney. Contact me.
Okay, look, I stand by both of those things being arguably the top of my list. I still have no reason for Disney to do that, but I would still also like them to get in touch with me. I watched Eve's video and she talked about being on like a recommended reading list, either by like the Library Association or like the different states have their lists, and I would love that so much. As a kid, I read off of those lists all the time. I still visit those lists too when I want recommendations for things. That would just be so cool. Yeah, that would be so cool. I am definitely stealing the book subscription box from Lindsay. Lizelle mentioned that she would love for an author that she loves to read her books. I also love that Lizelle talked about the authors don't even need to like them necessarily, just to know that they've read them. How cool would it be for an author that I've loved forever, who's had such a great impact on, you know, my life? Like, I know I talk about Meg Cabot all the time, but I loved Meg Cabot growing up. If she read my books and liked them, I would just, I'm a little bit like, I don't, can you see this? Like, just the thought of it has me tearing up a little bit because that would just be so cool. One of Alexa's goals was to be in like a Costco, Target, Walmart. Yes. Also put me in an airport. I would love that. I'd love to be next to the Nora Roberts and the James Pattersons of the world and like just be that level. And then Kahila talked about having the title of best-selling author. If I could just like in my bios places actually put that, I would do that. I would put it everywhere. Which, let me actually find. Can I find my passion planner? Oh no. Oh no. I was not prepared to shoot this video. Look at this, Little Zelda 8 part of it again. I'm just, tiny little Zelda. So cute, but also does not like my books. Okay, I actually have my goals I did. So 3 months, 1 year, 3 years lifetime. I did it July 1st. And then I circled the ones that would have the biggest impact on my life. The goals are definitely in the 3-year and on category, and then dreams start to get into lifetime ones. But I circled New York Times or an equivalent list. Be a best-selling author. Yeah, so anyways, now I'm gonna get to make a bigger list, a full list. Coming up with a roadmap to make as much of these a reality as I can. So this brings me into like the final sort of topic that I really want to discuss, which is Project Purple. And the reason this lumps in is because I want to be a hybrid author. There's some amount of scheduling that I get to do, and I've just been focusing on the stories that I want to get self-published. Again, because I have more control, that doesn't necessarily mean that that I should be doing that. But then also, because of Project Purple. Project Purple is the one that I have farthest along that I've always wanted to ideally get traditionally published. It goes into this whole strategy I have, strategy in quotes, as much of a strategy as you can have with traditional publishing. And I've talked about this before, like specifically YA contemporaries. I'd argue Project Death. I'd also like to get traditionally published. Basically any standalone is the main plan right now, but Project Purple is the farthest along in that category. For those of you who were not around during the Project Purple saga, Project Purple is, it's pink, it's fine. Where is it? It's not here. That's also fine. Project Purple is a YA contemporary about this girl that's writing a book about the time that she was accidentally kidnapped alongside a prince at Disney World, and how she frees them, but then the emotional impact of being thrust into the spotlight is in some ways worse than the actual kidnapping itself. It deals with PTSD and social media and not knowing what you want to do as a senior in high school and feeling like you have to have it all sort of figured out and feeling rushed to figure that out and have an answer and have a plan and all this stuff. And that's the book, and I really love it. And it's told in a way that I think is really fun because she's writing the book, so it's me writing the book as her writing the book. And in Project Purple, my main character Jenny is biracial. She's half Korean and she's half white, and I am very white, as blindingly white as a human can be. Which leads into this discussion that I've seen popping up a lot, especially with everything that's been happening in our world recently, of should white authors be writing POC characters? And I think a lot of it comes down to like point of view characters versus not the point of view character, and then how much of our real world is being influenced in this. So like the Meridian Maps, Annalisa is Black. It is completely a fantasy. There's no touch of our world, our reality in it. Annalisa has always been Black in my mind, just like Jenny has always been biracial in my mind. I couldn't possibly change either of them now, and I wouldn't want to. But I feel fine publishing the Meridian Maps, you know, making sure that I get my sensitivity readers, even though it deals with, again, none of our current issues, but it's important if you are writing a skin color that's not your own to make sure that you do that. The thing with Project Purple is that it is a contemporary, and the real kicker is that I want to get that one traditionally published. And we've seen time and again, and hopefully it's changing. Did I do this right? Okay, I did it right. Traditional publishing has seemed to have this almost quota system, like, oh, we got one Black book published this year or this quarter. We don't need to have any more Black books published this year, or even trying to stick POC authors to writing books about the struggle of being POC rather than just having POC leads in these stories that aren't about, like, in quotes, issue books or whatever. And so then the question comes for me, if I tried to get Project Purple traditionally published, Can I trust that traditional publishing has changed enough so that I'm not taking up the space of a biracial woman, a biracial author trying to tell a story about a biracial character, you know? And I don't know that we can trust traditional publishing to do that right now. There's a lot of ego in this statement, like, because obviously I, you know, cannot presume that anyone would actually want Project Purple, that it would even be selected to be traditionally published anyways, you know, that it would be bought by a publisher. So it feels gross in some ways to say that, you know, I'm not going to do that because it would take the place or anything. But it is important for me to think about and consider. And I think just in the world right now, that's something that is my responsibility to do. So I do see this changing. Hopefully, gosh, I hope so. I see this changing. I don't even know if I can say that. Just gonna triple down on, I really hope I see this changing. If I say it enough, it'll happen, right? Because that's worked historically. Ta-da. This is something that I'll revisit maybe in the coming years if I see evidence that traditional publishers have stepped up and are improving. This is where, once again, self-publishing versus traditional publishing kind of diverges in what I'm comfortable doing, because self-publishing is not taking up the space of anyone else. Everyone has the ability to do that. Me making a video about my wildest publishing goals and dreams does not stop anyone else from making a video about their wildest publishing goals and dreams, you know? So this is where things get sort of interesting, because I had a timeline for my goals, you know? I had planned to query Project Purple, even with focusing on my self-published stuff. I'd planned to query it at least by 2021. Probably won't do that anymore. So now I just personally have to rearrange, you know, my schedule and what I was thinking. And this is something that I've seen a lot of people talk about, that I've talked to friends about. And I'm fortunate in that I juggle so many projects that it's you know, not the biggest deal to put a book on a much longer back burner for years at a time, right? But I also don't know how long I really want to sit on this either. So as much as I have a strategy for things and I really want to get Project Purple traditionally published, and I can sit on it and I will, if I don't see that traditional publishing is changing much, I mean, I guess there's a whole question of, do you want to be involved in an industry that's refusing to change? But I think it is. So it's, anyways, gosh, at some point, you know, 2022, 2023, I may want to reevaluate and see if it's something that I don't just, you know, self-publish after all. Giving myself the freedom and flexibility and desire to both indie publish and ideally one day traditionally publish just gives myself more possibilities. And I like that. In conclusion, why should you consider being a hybrid author? Give yourself more options. The end. Anyways, I think I kind of talked in random circles, but please do comment down below. Let me know what your wildest publishing dreams and goals are, or just your writing dreams or goals, or platform dreams or goals, any of that. I would love to know about it. Also, let me know what you think of being a hybrid author. Is that something you have any interest in? Let me know if you want to self-publish or traditionally publish. Let me know if that's changed for you over time. And let me know if your social circles, your writing social circles, if you have a writing social circle outside of Authortube, how represented self-publishing or traditional publishing is in those circles. Yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you especially to some of my new patrons this month: Jordan Foz, Andrea Gumer, Adele Owen, Liz, and Eliza J. Lagonia, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye! Fly, my pretties, fly. Can I stack that? Ooh. Ah. Yes. No.